It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cole gonna break some and if he don't break some he gonna beat the out of him. Over the nice. Like, so I gets in the ring and man, this dude got to beating me up. Like, we only sparred I think 2 or 3 rounds. It was 4-minute rounds, man. This dude beat me up so bad. I swear to God, that was the worst whooping I ever had as a fighter. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I went home that day, like, I just could not believe what happened. Like, because it don't happen to me. I was a kid, and I used to spar with pros. I used to beat up on pros all the time. Like, it was like, it was something new. And once he beat me up, the next time we sparred, I always made sure, like, this is gonna be different. You ain't gonna just beat me up. Like, I feel like from that sparring session and just being around Bud Crawford, he's a major reason why.
Steel sharpens steel, and legends sharpen legacies. And right now, Shakur Stevenson is sharpening himself with the sharpest blade in the room. Terence Crawford.
Only thing he can throw is a hook because you out the way of the right hand.
He like a sponge. He soak up everything that he need to soak up, put it into his arsenal, and then he make the best out of everything that he learned from everybody.
Then throw it straight left to the body.
At the end of the day, you don't want to feel like a know-it-all. And the people that know it all are the people that don't go very far. You gotta always be a student. You gotta always be able to learn and pick up things from this person, that person.
He's a work of art. The sky is the limit with Shakur. He got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has. And given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division. And be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Bud isn't just a guest in Shakur's camp. He's basically big brother energy and boxing gloves. Always pulling up, always advising, always pushing him to levels most fighters never touch.
What is that like? I mean, fighting Terence Crawford, sparring Terence Crawford, this guy's a beast. Everybody knows that. What is that like sparring him? Is it just another level?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like a whole different level. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people y'all even see now that's on the scene. But to me is the best fighter that I've been in the ring with, just because of the things that he can do. He can do anything, and you never know what to expect when you go in the ring.
Insiders are whispering that Shakur went toe-to-toe with Crawford in sparring and didn't look out of place at all. Matching rhythm, matching IQ, matching that cold problem-solving pace that makes Bud who he is. That's wild because Crawford is the final boss of adjustments. And if Shakur is hanging in there, that tells you this version of him is different.
He come in there, he may box you. Some days he may come in there and he want to fight you. He can do. He's one of the most complete fighters that I ever seen.
Have you ever got the best of him in sparring?
I don't speak on that. I mean, I have good days. He had good days, and honestly, I appreciate him for pushing me to the level that I am at now. So I never like go in there and even brag on anything or nothing like that. But Bud is part of the reason I am who I am and the level that I'm on now.
With Bud in his ear, in his corner, in his camp, Shakur isn't just preparing to beat Teofimo. He's preparing to dissect him like a case study. And people around the gym are saying this could get ugly fast. But here's the thing. Sparring is sacred and everyone knows it. These sessions stay behind closed doors for a reason, because sparring is where ego dies and truth shows up. Remember years ago when Shakur and Teofimo sparred, and the moment Shakur noticed someone recording, he shut that camera down instantly? That wasn't diva behavior, that was fighter code. What happens in the gym stays in the gym, especially when careers, reputations, and future fights are on the line. While Shakur is sharpening his mind and timing next to Terence Crawford, building that quiet assassin version of himself in closed-door rounds, Timothy Bradley comes flying in like the veteran uncle who's seen every mistake before it happens and refuses to sugarcoat it. Bradley didn't just break down punches, he broke down habits. And when he said the closest route isn't always the fastest, that hit like a chess lesson disguised as a boxing tip.
A lot because I grew in the ring with Bud over the years. I remember my first time sparring him, he played with me. That was my first time being in the ring with somebody, and they had their way with me, and they did whatever they want. And then over the years, I just kept coming back. And every time I see him, like, yo, we sparring? We sparring? Like, every time. That's why you'll see so many pictures and videos of me and Bud in the ring, because it's like, I just wanted to keep pushing myself with a guy that I know is the truth. And as we got older, my level has gotten a lot better.
He basically warned that Shakur's love for that straight line control, that centerline mastery, can become a trap if Timo gets clever with angles and timing. Bradley zeroed in on the left hook like it's a horror movie villain talking about how it disappears from the frame and reappears at the worst possible moment. And you could hear the veteran PTSD in his voice.
The punch that I'm worried about for Shakur getting hit with the most from Tio, and he's devastating with this punch, is the left hook, okay? The left.
He starts preaching about fighters pulling straight back and leaning on the line. That's not theory. That's history class with knockout highlights. He's basically handing Tio a blueprint and saying, you don't need 5 perfect ideas. You need one perfectly timed up hook. And the part about hooks forcing Shakur to keep his hands at home, that's sneaky genius. Because once Shakur respects that hook, suddenly his whole defensive rhythm tightens up and the freedom he loves starts shrinking.
Example, straight line fighters, 50-50 fighters, in and out. Shakur can move laterally too. He can, and he will. But most of his work is...
I love how Bradley framed it like Tio doesn't need to outbox the technician. He just needs to disrupt the technician's comfort zone. Make him think twice about pulling back. Make him feel that danger on every exit. And that's where this gets spicy, because Shakur with Crawford-level discipline is built to erase patterns. But Tio with Bradley's hook theory is built to punish patterns. This isn't just skills versus skills, it's geometry versus chaos, straight lines versus curved punches. And you already know in boxing, the punch you don't see coming is the one that writes the story.
Fighters get knocked out cold by veterans with left hooks that appear in the frame as they're leaning back, leaves the frame and comes right back into play. So with that being said, man.
Interview number 9. And after Timothy Bradley handed Teofimo that geometry lesson on hooks and invisible angles, Malik Scott slides into the conversation, sounding like the philosopher coach who's analyzing this fight like a chessboard with emotions attached. Malik straight up picked Shakur, but he didn't do it like a casual fan. He did it like someone who studies mistakes for a living. He kept circling back to Tio's overcommitment, basically saying Shakur is the type who turns one greedy step into a full-blown tax audit. I liked how Malik broke down the southpaw dynamic, too.
They matter. Both hands. That matters in this fight. You know what also it'll do? It'll make him keep his hands at home. That's what the hooks will do as well. It'll make him keep his hands at home. And if he doesn't...
Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosiveness. Because when he talks about Tio walking in with his lead hand down and literally stepping closer to Shakur's jab, that's not just critique. That's a warning label in bold letters. And then he pivoted into what Tio actually needs to do. Not fantasy stuff, real stuff. Explode in the moments Shakur touches the ropes, overload with work, double up shots, cut angles, and defend while attacking, which is hilarious because that's like telling a Ferrari to drive like a Tesla. Possible, but against its personality.
I say this, I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to.
Interview number 11. Malik also dropped that sneaky gem about Shakur's bodywork, comparing him to Pernell Whitaker and Floyd, the kind of slick guys who hypnotize you with feet and eyes while quietly draining your gas tank. And I swear that's the most underrated part of Shakur's game. Then Malik goes into X Factor mode talking about distance control, probing jabs, and Teo needing to punch where Shakur will be, not where he is, which is the most sounds easy is impossible advice in boxing. But the part that really hit was Malik calling Teo the most explosive athletic opponent Shakur's faced while still saying he's rolling with the better boxer. That's not disrespect, that's hierarchy. And when Malik starts talking trilogy potential, controversial decisions, stubborn footwork battles, you realize this fight isn't just about power versus defense. It's about stubbornness versus precision, ego versus geometry, and Too Young trying to prove their version of boxing reality is the only one that survives under those lights.
Explosiveness, he's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, Teo, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well.
Interview number 12. And right after Malik Scott turned this matchup into a graduate-level class on fundamentals versus explosiveness, Zaquin Moses jumps in and flips the camera from tactics to bloodlines. And honestly, that shift hits different. You can feel the pride when he talks about being the oldest of 13, carrying that big brother responsibility while still chasing his own career, and then casually calling Shakur his big brother, too. Like that's a double-duty legacy arc right there. Zaquin said he's not frustrated when he's out of the ring, just anxious, which is fighter code for I'm tired of shadow boxing in the mirror. And I respect that hunger. He's talking about being back in the gym right after fights, itching to perform, itching to be seen. And you can hear that he's trying to grow into himself, saying 2026 is the year he shows people who he really is. Cool, relaxed, but locked in. Then he gets into Shakur, and this is where it turns into family propaganda in the best way.
To pay the fight, right? Yeah. But don't have Shakur as much in the corner. I think Shakur wins easily. I just don't trust Shakur on the ropes, stuck in the corner against Teo. Against other fighters, I could get why he would do that, but against Teo punch selections is a lot better than any fighter that Shakur has ever fought. His speed is a lot more rapid than, to me, any fighter Shakur has ever fought. And he's the best athlete Shakur has ever fought. And he's the most explosive fighter Shakur has ever fought. So he's in the fight, definitely. But if you ask me, I'm always going to go with the guy with the best defense, the guy.
Interview number 13. He straight up said Shakur is the blueprint, the role model, the guy he calls for advice on literally everything boxing and life, which low-key explains why Shakur moves the way he does. He's not just fighting for belts. He's fighting as the example in that household. And when Zach talks about wanting to be the best, being willing to fight anyone like Vizoli or Moten, no hate, just competition. That's that new generation mindset. Respectful, but ruthless. But then he went full cousin mode on the Teo question, basically saying Shakur is going to do whatever he wants in there. And if he decides to switch into a higher gear, yeah, he thinks a stoppage is possible. That's not analysis. That's family confidence amplified by gym reality. The funniest part is how calm he said it like it's already written. You can tell watching Shakur headline MSG as the North Star for him that one day that's me fuel. And honestly, when your cousin is headlining arenas, that motivation hits like premium espresso. This wasn't just a prospect talking.
For that person for you that you looked up to?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a blessing. Because even though I'm the oldest of 13, I still got somebody to look at as a big brother. Well, he's my big brother, but it's a blessing to have him around, have him show me the way, and him leading it as a role model, and everything he is to me, him leading the way.
Interview 14. This was a young fighter telling you the Shakur Stevenson era is a family project, and everybody in that house is trying to level up off it. So when you stack all this together, it feels less like a normal fight build-up and more like two philosophies crashing into each other at full speed. Shakur is sharpening himself with Crawford-level discipline surrounded by family, mentors, and system built on precision, patience, and control. Teofimo is carrying chaos, confidence, angles, power, and that stubborn belief that one moment can rewrite everything. You've got trainers breaking down geometry, fighters talking mentality, cousins talking legacy, and veterans warning about hooks that end careers in a blink. This isn't just skills versus skills. It's structure versus explosion, patience versus impulse, and two guys who genuinely believe the ring belongs to them. Somebody's narrative is getting rewritten under those lights. And that's what makes this fight dangerous, not just exciting. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's really debate this one. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters.
Beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo just, I don't want to like really say too much, but I see Teo coming to do what he do, and I see Shakur coming to do what he do, and I just see Shakur doing whatever he want, and any type of way he want it, that's how it's gonna be. And next week is a big week, and I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
Should beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy. I think he can. That's all I'm going to say. He act crazy. I think he